Hello, beautiful conscious creators. Today we are going to be talking about boundaries, how to set boundaries, and also learning how to say no from a conscious place. I've just noticed this come up a lot in my life recently, the people around me, and also in my sessions. So I thought it'd be timely to make this video. But first, it would really support me if you like, share, and subscribe so that I can continue to make weekly videos just for you. All right, so let's talk about this. What are boundaries? They are simply what we allow and what we won't allow. Now, the only reason why we need to set boundaries is to ensure balance in our lives, or because things have become out of balance. Now, tell me if this sounds familiar to you. We're kind of just going along. We're not really paying attention to how things are unfolding in a situation. And then before we know it, everything is way out of balance and we become angry and frustrated because we are feeling that we're being taken advantage of. Then we're put in a situation where we have to speak up, and the thought of that is uncomfortable. We don't want to because we don't want to cause friction or get the other person upset. But then we're upset, frustrated, and unhappy. And I think most of us, if not all, have experienced something like this before. Now, when I first started to hear my guidance talking to me, the first thing they showed me, interestingly enough, was a checkbook register. And they said there needs to be balance in our life in all it is that we do. That was the first thing they taught me, really, when they started speaking to me and I could hear them. And thinking back to it, it's an interesting thing to share, right? Right out of the gate. But take a look around us. When we look at nature, everything is in perfect balance and harmony. And that's what we're talking about here. And that's what they were talking about. Now, on a funny note, for all of those business majors out there, like I was in college, and those accountants especially, that was by far my worst subject. What is the first rule of accounting? And I remember this years later. For every credit, there must be a debit, just like life. So let's talk about how we bring this into our lives by setting boundaries. Now, the first way is always through awareness. Awareness is the key to creating shifts wherever it is needed. So if you're giving more than someone else over time, there's an imbalance. If you are compromising yourself, there's an imbalance. If your energy is being drained in a situation, circumstance, or relationship, there's an imbalance. If you're giving and not receiving it all, there's an imbalance. So that's what that looks like. And those are situations that would require boundaries. However, awareness may not kick into play at the onset of a situation because we're going to need to repeat and re-experience a pattern enough until we can see from a place of truth what's happening. And our feelings, how we feel about things over time, will also tell us that through awareness, all right? So paying close attention to how it is we feel in any given moment is key. And the one thing that higher consciousness does for us is it heightens our awareness. So not only will things come to light much faster, but we'll also take action much faster too. And the key is, as soon as we recognize something is out of balance, we take action by making different choices. The second way we do this is by saying no or restructuring a current circumstance. So either we have to say, no, I can't do that anymore, or no, I can't, or we restructure whatever it is that's already in place so that there is balance. So an example of that might be, I can't pick the kids up Monday through Friday anymore, but I can do Monday, Wednesday, and Friday if you do Tuesday, Thursday. So you're giving a little bit, the other person is giving a little bit, and everything comes right back into balance again. Now, the third way we would do this is by taking care of ourselves first. So take care of you first. Tend to your needs first before committing to somebody else's. This is simply from a place of respecting, loving, honoring yourself before you give your energy to something or somebody else. And what happens is, because we are energy beings first, the first way it is we honor ourselves is by honoring our energy. When we love and value ourselves and our energy first, we're laying a balanced foundation in all of our exchanges. When we put ourselves first from a conscious place, this overrides any chances of people pleasing. Number 4, compromise. Compromise equals a lesson. So if you're not comfortable with something, believe, trust, and honor your feelings. You don't need validation that what you're asking for is reasonable or what you're feeling is right. If it's coming from in here and that feeling is true, then that's your truth and that's what it is you need for you. When we compromise ourselves, we're creating another unconscious reality to experience one more time, an uncomfortable loop and pattern to re-experience, which always equals struggle and hardship. And that's how our universe works, is to make sure we're really going to make higher choices, that and how our universe does that is it tests us. It gives us tests. It'll repeat that test. Those same circumstances will present themselves to see what choice it is you're going to make. So even if you don't compromise and you've said no and you've put boundaries in place, you're still going to be tested to see where it is, if at all, you'll give in. So stick to what you've said out of respect for yourself and hold the line, so to speak. Now, the last thing I want to share is something I heard Eckhart Tolle say, and I really appreciated it because it was the difference between saying no from a conscious place versus saying no from an unconscious place, or saying no from your higher self versus saying it from your lower self. And he talked about a low quality no versus a high quality no. Isn't that cool? So let me give you an example of what that means. So a low quality no is saying no from a place of anger or frustration. And an example would be, I loaned you $3,000 this year and $2,000 last year, and you haven't paid me back, and you're really taking advantage of me. So no, I won't lend you money anymore. I will not be used. That would be a low quality no. Versus, I've already loaned you $2,000 this year and $3,000 last year. So I'm sorry, I can't loan you money anymore. It's not reactive, it's a simple statement, and it's done without making the other person out to be bad. So keep that in mind. Whenever we do something from a conscious place, things happen much more organically, and we feel like we naturally just feel better, and everybody feels better. When we're doing things from a conscious place, everybody feels better. And so the point here is that there's never any need to get angry, frustrated, point the finger, blame, put the other person down, make them upset, make them feel bad. You feel bad in the process, and the whole thing spirals downhill. If we are mindful of how we share what it is we're feeling or what it is we can or can't do, then the situation altogether will fall into place much more smoothly with greater ease, and everybody feels better about it, and it cuts the tension right out. So remember that. I wanted to share that with you because when I heard him say that, I thought, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. I like it, I appreciate it, and I feel like there's a lot of truth behind it. So I hope it supports you in the same way it supports me. Thank you so much for being here today and spending this time with me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye for now.